Taylor Swift's social media platforms are successful, and I'm going to tell you why. Prior to 2017, Taylor Swift's Instagram was a good mix of both personal and career posts. And because of that, she had built up this reputation of being very genuine and very kind, as well as a very, very, very successful musician. However, at the end of around 2016, she received a lot of media backlash and a lot of toxic messages about her dating life and about her personally. And so to get ready for her next album, she completely wiped her Instagram. Which then leads us to her Reputation era. In contrast to prior to wiping her Instagram, there are basically no personal posts on here anymore. We see a lot of advertising, like right here for Look What You Made Me Do. We see red carpet events, we see reviews, and we see stadium tours, but we don't see a lot of her personal life anymore. We go on to the Lover era, and same thing, but we do receive more knowledge about this in her documentary Miss Americana, where she talks about how she wants her personal life to remain personal. She doesn't want the media speculation anymore, and so that's the boundary that she set. We see this post, which seems almost like it's going to be personal. Not a lot going on at the moment, but it turns out that it was a little clue that she was releasing an album. And this was a surprise album that was released. And because of inconsistent posting and because it came out of nowhere with no marketing and no singles released beforehand, I would have deemed this to end unsuccessfully for anyone else. But because she had already built her fan base and because she had already proved herself to be a great musician and a great person, it worked great for her. We see later on that year she released a sister album called Evermore, and even just the tiny square, the very tiny square in the corner of the album cover that was released as a little Easter egg, fans were going crazy trying to figure out what was going on and what was coming next. She also decided to use her social platforms very creatively in her re-releases of the masters that she lost a few years ago with these vault tracks. So vault tracks are just songs that were written during the same era as her albums, but were not released at the same time. So in the Fearless album era, they just had to unscramble things. But I find that to be such a creative way and such a successful way to get your fans excited about your new album and to connect with them because you haven't been able to for so long. We also see that she's very good at using Easter eggs. Even in advertising for her other albums, she references favorite indie record store, which is a lyric from her album Red. So that leaves the fans speculating, and we see them doing more advertising on social media than even she's doing. We see all these memes and all these tweets about what's going to happen next, and that's part of why the inconsistency works for her. We see the next thing that she does is the creation of this new vault for Red, and instead of unscrambling words, it's 9 letters with a bunch of different columns where it turns into a word find. And once you finish the word find, you go to this website that she created and you fill it in to see if you can open the vault, which is very creative and a good way to connect with fans. As far as inconsistency goes, she actually posted today about a single from her 1989 re-recording, and it works for her. It works for her. And with anyone else, I would have said this would have gone downhill so quickly, but she has already built that sturdy foundation. I would also argue that her TikTok, I am not a personal fan of it, but I see the way that it works with the rest of her fans in that it's brought back that little piece of her personal life that they were missing for 6 years. And so it has opened this window again to say, hey, I'm here and I love you guys and I'm still creating content for you. And I miss you, like in this video, like I miss concerts and seeing all of your faces. So I would say that Taylor Swift's Instagram and all of her social media platforms are very successful because of the genuine way in which she uses them and the thoughtful and business-like way in which she uses them.